How's it going, guys? I'm Ollie Patterson from Punch Perfect Fitness. Today's video we're going to be talking about how professional boxing works. So with professional boxing you've got a few areas. So say from the amateurs here, so amateurs are right here, you're going to have 2 sets or 3 sets of fighters that come out of this. So we're going to have when you come out the amateurs, depending on how well you've done or how many fights you've had, you know, if you go and box for your country and you represent a country at the big tournaments, you know, like the Olympics and the Worlds, Europeans, then you've got a big chance of landing a TV deal. But it's not always the case. You know, there's a lot of good fighters that box for the country, represent the country, that don't get a TV deal. And then what you have to do then is go down the small hall route. So that's there. And then if you're not good enough to get a TV deal, you can go to the small hall show, but then there's a big grey area again. You can't just go and box. It doesn't work like that. You get another, a third sort of fighter, and they're on the road. So with a TV deal, how that would work. First off, you'll sign probably a like a 5-fight deal, 3 or 5-fight deal, and they'll want to see how well you perform in that 3 or 5 fights. If you do well, then obviously that could lead on to a bigger contract, a better contract, obviously better fights, and then obviously the bigger the fight, the more money involved. With small hall shows, you're going to have, the worst thing about small hall is, doesn't matter how talented you are, you're going to have to sell tickets, because you've got a promoter who's going to have to rent or hire the venue. So that's obviously going to cost money. You've got all the ring, you've got all the production to think of under the promoter. So officials as well. There's probably a lot more than that as well. There's a lot that goes into it. So the promoter has to try and cover all this. The only way, he hasn't got a TV deal, the TV company aren't paying him to put our fights on. So then as a boxer, usually you get 100 tickets to sell. So you get 100 standard tickets at £40. Equals that £4 total, yeah? So out of that £4, you then have to usually pay your opponent £1,100. You have to then pay the house, say £1,600. Some promoters are different, it just depends. That's £2,700 out of the £4 already taken. That's bearing in mind if you do sell 100 tickets. A lot of fighters don't sell 100 tickets. It's hard to sell 100 tickets, and especially while you're on the small hall shows, you're trying to build your name, you're trying to progress and get fights. A lot of fighters won't sell or won't hit that 100 mark. So that's what you're left with. You're left with 1,300. And if you sell all the 100, then you normally get £1,300 purse. Say for instance, you only sell 60 tickets. I'm going to need the help of my calculator now. because I'm not the quickest with the math. So 60 times 40, you're left with 2.5. So you see a 2.4, sorry. So you're already 300 below the house and the opponent. At 60 tickets, it's not bad. A lot of people do a lot less. Some people don't do many more. So you're already there. And you've either got two options. You'll have to put £300 of your own money in to hit that target, or you'll have to speak to a promoter. The promoter might say to you, look, don't worry, we just take £300 off here or £100 off here. Some journeymen or on the road fighters won't take 1100, they'll just take, it depends, it varies. But usually they want about that. If they're doing a 4-rounder, they'll want slightly less than then if they're doing a 6-rounder. 6-rounders, obviously, they've got more risk of getting cut or getting injured, and then they can't fight the next week. So this is a reason now why a lot of fighters will be hounding people for tickets and asking people all the time for tickets. That's what, you know, the position I find myself in. At the moment, every fight on a small hall circuit is trying to break through this barrier into the TV deal, try and sign and get a TV deal where they won't have to worry too much about sending tickets. They can relax, they can train and let their fighting do the talking, rather than, you know, having to go out and meet people, like you might be training, instead of training, you're driving around the streets trying to meet people for tickets, or chasing people up for tickets all the time. So no matter how hard you train, always in the back of your head, you've got the ticket problem or the ticket issue on your mind. It's not a great thing to have when you're training. It can be stressful, and it's headache really at the end of the day. You know, as a boxer, you don't want to feel like you're hounding people for tickets, but you also need to sell them. So it's a hard position to be in on a small hall show. Again, doesn't really matter about your talent too much. Obviously, some promoters are a bit more lenient with that mark, and you know, you can work around things. But then we have on the road fighters. So on the road, it's normally, a lot of the time, fighters on the road, they'll start their career as contenders, and then this is the issue that they'll find. They'll find they either can't sell enough tickets, or they'll either take a fight too early that they're not ready for and lose, and maybe then pick up another loss, and before they know it, they've got 2 or 3 losses on their career. And it shouldn't be, but this day and age, it's hard. You have to try and keep that 0 intact. So on the road, fighters will usually be contenders that either can't sell tickets, or a couple of losses. So rather than hanging the gloves up completely and not bothering with boxing, what they'll do then is they'll got what you call go on the road. So then they'll be in the away dressing room, they'll be in the away corner. So the boxer that's on the small hall show that's been selling the 100 tickets, he'll sell the 100 tickets, and then the opponent straight away will get that. And he can fight every week. You're allowed to fight every week. If you can get a fight, you stay injury free, you don't get stopped, he can fight every week. So he could be picking up 4,400 a month just in fight money, and as I say, he's still doing what he loves. He's still getting to box. He's not expected to win, but if he does win and he does pull it off, then happy days, he's got another win to his record. So, and they can be dangerous fighters because they're fighting all the time. They're staying sharp, they're staying ready. They know how to survive. They know how to, you know, they know the tricks of the trade. And a lot of young fighters that are coming through, you know, they just see the Mayweathers and all that, and they think that it's easy. It's not. You have to sell your tickets, and then you have to fight against these guys that have been there and done it, and were contenders themselves at one point. So my point here for guys that are watching is, if you've got a local fighter or you know someone, you know, the TV fighters, they don't, it doesn't matter to them. If you buy a ticket to Canelo fight, Canelo would not care less. I mean, if he knows you, probably, you know, then fair enough. But if you buy a ticket to John, who's 2-0 and on the rise, that is already £40 off that target, that magic target here. And that is a massive, massive difference between Canelo and John, who's trying to make it to where Canelo is. Everyone starts somewhere, everyone starts from the bottom and keep grinding, but it's a hard sport, it's a tough sport. But if you want to make it, you have to just keep grinding through, trying social media. But guys out there, when these fighters are asking you for tickets, it's not because it's going in our pocket or we think you owe us that. It's that we're just trying to progress to the next level, to that TV deal. And with your help, with your generous £40 and your support for us, you will take us a step closer, not only to this market or this margin here, but to up here, to break through this barrier. And yeah, it does make a massive, massive difference. I mean, as I say, if you get a ticket, 9 times out of 10, you're going to come with a friend, you're going to come with your girlfriend or cousin or brother, and then usually, so that's already times 2. You've got 80 quid now, at least, off there. And then normally, it's the same thing. I say your mates will be like, "What are you doing this weekend?" "Oh, I'm going to John's fight." "Oh, okay, is there any tickets? Because I want to come." And then that's how it leads. You keep getting the ticket deals, keep getting them ticket sales. So next time a local boxer or an upcoming boxer puts out about tickets, I definitely you know, think twice about maybe coming, supporting. And also, you'll be surprised how good the nights are. The guys that are fighting on these shows are the next generation that are going to be fighting on these shows. Yeah, this is where they come from. Obviously, I say certain fighters will come straight through from the amateurs and get a TV deal, which, you know, fair play. They've worked hard in the amateurs. They got their shot. They've got that little bit of a head start on us guys. But in there's a lot of hungry fighters, and there's a lot of fighters that want to prove themselves and get over to there. But we can't always prove ourselves as well as we want unless we start selling them a few more tickets, and then, as I say, get more and more fights. Once you hit a certain mark, say 10-0, you then start getting noticed and you start getting that southern area shot. Or English title. Which then lead on to a British title, which are usually under a TV banner. You know, Matchroom, they'll always normally have a British title fight on. So once you get to 10-0, then you can start looking for Southern area, an English title. You want to build up that experience. Yeah, sometimes fighters at 5-0, they can't sell tickets as well as they want to, and then they start looking for that Southern area shot. But you might come against someone that's 16-2, say, who's had a little bit of trouble selling tickets, but he's had 18 fights to your 5, and that's a massive difference. So yeah, that's how boxing works, guys. A little bit of an insight. There's a lot more to it, but I say that's a little bit of an insight into how boxing works, and how supporting your local fighters and the people you know, rather than the big names, that's how much you can help us guys to progress to the big names. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you've got any more questions or anything you'd want to know, just drop us a comment and I'll get back to you. Also, like and subscribe. Thank you, guys.